Let's get started, Mr. Jones.
What gets you out of bed? What gets you off the couch? What gets you in the gym? It's not your alarm. It's not your parents. It's not your friends. It's you. The only one that can make it happen for you is you.
It's really hard to be led by your gut. But I'm not qualified. But I'm not good enough. But I'm not smart enough. But I didn't go to the right school. But I don't have enough money. But. If you're ever going to step into your future, if you're ever going to step into your destiny, you're going to have to get over your butt.
And that's what the part is when you have undisciplined mind, and you're going to take on the wrong thing over and over and over again. And you want to throw a pity party, I give you 3 days, and that's it. And after 3 days, you come up, you write your plan, you outbox every 3, and you come up with a plan.
Do I just sit there and settle? No, I don't. I say enough's enough, man. I'm gonna make a change. And I'm gonna keep going until I get it. You chase something that you believe you deserve until you get it. And it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter how many times you get fired. It doesn't matter how many people don't believe in you. Just go until you get it. That's the point. Are you tired yet? Some of you need to get tired. You need to be tired of what's going on in your life. Get tired of that. Get tired of the actions that you put in every day. You gotta change, man.
I woke up one day and stopped making excuses. I woke up one day and stopped playing the blame game. I woke up one day and looked at the man in the mirror and was like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Wake up. It's showtime. Let's go. Get up. Go to class. Get up. Do your homework. You wake up early as people. You stay early. You stay humble. You work harder than anyone else there. I guarantee someone feels bad about themselves too. Well, label you, that's easy. He's building what should be your label because people feel bad about themselves.
Your life is exactly what you wanted. Because every day, you've had choices to make. You're responsible, criminal for every single choice. You've made the choices.
And what I need you to do for me is why are you here? And then take ownership of why you're here. So you can show them you. This one ain't gonna give you what you deserve. This one gonna give you what you work for. I put that work in every single day. And we wake up every single day, we put that work in, and that's what some of us, it might be harder than others, but whatever, we do what it is we gotta do. Especially when we're desperate. When it's not loyal to you, it doesn't care about you. When it doesn't care how sore you are, when it doesn't care how much sleep you get, when it doesn't care how hard you work at times. When it requires all of you and then more, and it promises you nothing. It's a mastermind creating fear and doubt in your mind. It causes setback after setback. So the question is about winning. Are you willing to sprint while the distance is unknown? And why chase this thing called winning? Because the only thing that's guaranteed in life, if you don't chase it, is losing.
Now is the time to grind. Now is the time to show the world. Now is play care for once. Work for it. Fight for it. It begins today. It continues tomorrow. And it never dies.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Jones.
You guys doing okay today?
All's well, sir.
Okay. Still cool out there, but there's a little sunlight.
Yeah, it's freezing out there.
It's a little nippy, yeah. It's not my kind of weather, but hey, you get to appreciate this. So next time it warms up, you appreciate that even more.
You understand? Let's get started.
We sure will definitely get started. I am going to say party announcements to the end of class when more people are here. So I'm just going to start out by saying today we're going to finish chapter 11, health psychology, with a focus on, because we're talking about stress. So today we're focusing on coping with stress or ways to deal with stress. That's the focus. We took a survey on Tuesday. A lot of you have some degree of stress currently going on in your life. So we can look at different ways to deal with that as well, both physically, mentally, all that stuff. And also, too, we're going to do an in-class activity. Don't forget, these in-class activities are part of your engagement grade, which is 20% of your grade. All you will need is a sheet of paper and a pen, and it's usually, of course, very simple activity. It won't take but a few moments. All right. having said, oh, and then I would say this too. I did grade the test. Your scores are in Blackboard. I give everybody a bonus 5 points. And I will be doing the midterm assessment assignment later this week. All right. Without further ado, let's get to it.
Okay
This is
then.
where we left off, but you can't see it. Now you can see it. This is where we left off. We talked about learned helplessness. Was I telling this? Amy, was I telling the story?
Oh, yeah, I wrote that already.
You were in the class on Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
What
how
was-
did you get a number?
How did I get my?
In the grocery store, you met
That's
your
right.
wife or
That's
something.
right. Okay, so for those of you who weren't here, I believe I was talking about going forward, not living a life of regrets, and meeting my wife in the grocery store, taking that chance. And so my opening line was, well, I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna give you a backstory. So I'm in the grocery store in Whole Foods, and I'm on the phone. I'm talking with a friend of mine who's looking for advice regarding her teenage son, that she's not a therapist. And so I'm talking to her about advice, and I see this attractive young lady in the grocery store, and I want to say, I gotta go. But that seemed not cool because she really wants help or advice for her son. So I'm like, wow, I'm not gonna be able to talk to her because I'm talking to her. So I continue the conversation. And we finish. And I was like, oh my God, we're done. She's still there, she is in the store. So I went up to her. She was wearing what was a military uniform. But it was a branch of the government I didn't recognize. So I asked her, what branch of the government is this uniform? And she said, there are 7 uniformed services. She said, name them. And so I started naming. I said, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Chemical Fire. She said, there's 2 more that wear uniforms. I don't know. Actually, there's 3 more now, but at the time it was 2. And she said something. She said, one called NOAA, I think it's National Oceanic. They're the people who track the weather, like globally. They're the people, the weathermen get their weather from NOAA, and they wear uniforms. And then she's with the Department of Public Health, Department of Health and Human Services. They wear uniforms too. They wear uniforms that are very similar to the Navy. And then from there we started a conversation. I was like, hey, are you from around here? She said, no, I'm from Chicago. I said, me too. I said, I'm from the south side of Chicago. She said, me too. I said, my mom lives on the street in Chicago called Dorchester. She said, my parents live on Dorchester in Hyde Park, which is the next neighborhood over. I said, you gotta be kidding me. And so we exchanged numbers, and ultimately we dated, got married, and here we are. There you go, finished the story. Thanks for reminding me. All right, so we left off learned helplessness. This is where an animal or a person believes there's absolutely nothing I can do about my situation. Why even bother trying? It's a done deal. It's a wrap. And if you believe there's nothing you can do about your situation, you are absolutely correct. If that's what you choose to believe.
So what are the new vocabulary words that we'll be learning today?
Pardon me?
The new vocabulary words that we'll be learning of today?
That's what we're going right now. The phrase is learned helplessness.
Okay.
So, but let's continue on. Here's a new word for your vocabulary. Hardiness. People don't really use this word. I've never heard this word come up in conversation. You're such a hardy fellow. Way to demonstrate hardiness. I've never, ever heard this word in a sentence. But
A personality trait.
it's an important word that ties in with resilience. And so we're going to go with it. And so, of course, it will be a question, connected to a question on your next exam. I'm sorry, I forgot to pass out the sign-in sheets. Address that at this moment. You're writing that down. There you go.
Challenges I'm having.
hardiness is really the opposite of learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is I can't do anything, why try? Hardiness is I can do something about this. I can change the situation. I can change my life. I can change who I am. Really kind of ties in with the video that I started class with. Hardiness, a personality trait characterized by a sense of commitment. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna overcome this. Viewing problems as challenges, not as some issue that you can't get through, but viewing problems as a challenge. And then finally, having a sense of control over one's life and environment. That's the I can do attitude, not the I can't do attitude. People who display hardiness or people who are hardy, they tend to throw themselves fully into whatever they're doing. They're committed to getting through this. They're committed to achieving whatever goal they're trying to accomplish. And when difficulty comes, they don't think of it as, oh, I got another problem, another issue. They see this as a challenge. Something to overcome. People who display hardiness, they have this perception that they have control or can influence the events that take place in their lives. In an earlier chapter, we talked about the word resiliency. The ability to withstand, overcome, and actually thrive after profound diversity. If you don't have hardiness, if you don't have resiliency, I suggest you try to develop it. I'm not saying you can go to sleep and wake up the next morning and be suddenly super hardened and you can take on the world, but you can start working on it by changing your thoughts and changing your actions. No one achieves greatness without struggle. I don't care what area of life you're talking about. An athlete, an actor, a CEO, a billionaire. They had to overcome something. You have to. If you really, there's no smooth road to the top. People struggle, people put in extra work, people put in extra time, people stay up, they don't go to sleep. But everybody doesn't want to achieve greatness. I'm not saying you need to achieve greatness. I'm just saying that those who do, they've had to demonstrate being hardy. They had to push themselves, they had to push through. All right. Moving on. So, this, I don't know why, other textbooks that I've taught this chapter, these chapters are in every textbook.
Write those down.
No, you don't need this. For some reason, this was not put into your current textbook. And I thought it was important, so I put it in here. We're just going to talk about it. So that's why I mentioned this. Because this is something that's important when it comes to coping with stress. And I just alluded to it. It's our thoughts. And so some of us have a tendency to think optimistically, and some of us think pessimistic. You may have heard those words. Why are you so pessimistic? Why are you so optimistic? So I thought it was important you guys to know the difference between being pessimistic or being optimistic. Demonstrating optimism or demonstrating pessimism. If you're an optimist, you're expecting positive outcomes. An optimist is like, you know what, I got this. I can do this. I can push through. I feel like I can be successful. I can manage my stress. They say optimism runs in families. But that would also mean so does pessimism. Some people's families, unfortunately, maybe some of you in here, you have parents or grandparents who are always thinking negatively. Always thinking worst case scenario. You can't do that. Why are you even bother trying? You'll never make it. Don't pursue that profession. There's no money in it. Like, this is what I want to try. It's a waste of your time. That's the way they've always thought. Now, some people, they get negative, they actually think they're helping you. And this sounds crazy. You guys are not here. Why do you agree with that, Ashton? Why do you think they think they're helping you by being negative?
I don't know. I don't think they do it intentionally.
I agree. I think
a lot of times I don't think they do it intentionally. Cause I have like my dad, he always, like every time I say I'm gonna do something or something that I'm trying to work on, he always has like a comeback, or like thinks about the negative part first. And I'll be like, why are you thinking about the negative part?
because that's not gonna help you.
Yeah, it's not gonna help me at all. So, I don't think they do it intentionally.
Anybody think people talk to their own children negatively like that? That's the
I've been trying to figure that out for 36 years.
So are you saying that's the way we were raised?
Yeah,
You heard a lot of that.
yeah, it was nothing ever positive about a situation. It was always a negative connotation with anything that ever came out of my mother's mouth. Like, I feel like she doesn't even realize that, like, I think she thinks she's trying to help, but literally, like, it's always in a negative connotation. It's never in a, try again, good luck,
That's awesome.
I'm happy you have interests. No, I think it's a disease.
Anybody else want to have
Positive
comments on that?
Okay, so my dad is a little bit different. I'm talked to him over the years, but the main thing we always say is, it doesn't matter. I'm a dying.
Pessimism.
I'm dying. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, yeah, my mother-in-law has a heart. Her health is horrible. She
Pessimism,
drinks too much
pessimistic.
sodas.
Anticipation of negative
You
end.
gotta die of something anyway. Or people smoke cigarettes. Well, you gotta die of something anyway. Yeah, but that's true. We all have to transition. However, don't you want to at least have a higher quality of life as you get older or transition? Because if you smoke cigarettes, now you got to be coughing all the time, and maybe developing cancer. Like, why would you want a higher quality of life as you get older?
Maybe they're more of a realist and an opportunist.
Yes. Now,
Wait, say that again?
maybe they're more of a realist or an opportunist. Now, for some parents or some people, they come off as being negative because they're trying to be realists. They try to be a realist. They're like, well, let's be honest, only so many people are going to make it into the NBA, and that's true. That is true. However, it wouldn't hurt to encourage people to do it. At least go for it. At least go for it. That's why that's the reason why I approached my wife in Whole Foods, because I didn't want to live anymore with regrets. I was tired of saying, I didn't want to be like, I wonder what would have happened if I would have spoke to that lady. When I was in radio, I could have took a radio job in Columbus, Ohio. They offered me a job. As a matter of fact, and a station in South Carolina, they both offered me radio jobs. But then I got the really weird job offer to host my own morning radio show on the island of Guam, which is on the other side of the planet, in case you don't know, an island in the South Pacific. Now,
It's closer to Japan than here.
what was it?
It's closer to Japan than here.
Really just full of a wealth of knowledge. That is actually, that's 100%. It is far closer to Japan and the Philippines than right now. It is really on the other side of the globe. And I had a choice. I could take this job in South Carolina, or I could go on the other side of the planet to a place I've never been. And so I said, what do? I was like, you know what? I don't want to live with regrets. If I don't take it, I'll always say, I wonder what that would have been like to do radio on an island. I don't have to wonder, because I took that opportunity. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life. It was an amazing experience. So I don't have that regret. I don't like regrets. So, but some people are realists, and some people, they think they're protecting you because they don't want you to be disappointed. And in some of them, may have their own inner issues. Maybe they might be uncomfortable with you succeeding when they didn't pursue their own dreams. That's a possibility too. So they didn't pursue what they wanted to do, so see somebody else do it. But I would hope that parents want their children to exceed and have a better life than they did. That's what I would hope. But that's not always true. So people can either be pessimistic, optimistic, or pessimism, where they anticipate negative outcomes. They're always expecting the worst case scenario. It's always that video I showed you at the beginning of class, the guy was talking about, don't get caught up with the buts. But what if it's too late? But what if I'm too old? But what if I'm too young? What if I don't have enough experience? That's pessimistic. Don't allow the buts to stop you from pursuing things. Because that's not going to help you deal with stress. It's just not. All right. Now, when it comes to, they said most of this class is about coping with stress. We are social creatures. We're all in this together.
Network of caring.
And so having a social support group can really help you deal with the stress that may be in your life. When we have people we can count on, close friends, close family, that actually can lower our level of stress and help us to cope with things when they come along. It's when people feel like they don't have anybody, it becomes that much more difficult to deal with stress and challenging situations. Feeling liked, feeling encouraged, receiving help when you need it from close friends and family, it promotes happiness, and that even applies to a happy marriage. It calms down our cardiovascular system, can lower blood pressure, hormone levels. It helps us to have a stronger immune system, just from having a healthy support group around us. Now, it don't have to be a large group. You don't need 50 friends to deal with stress and to be happy and cope. Just have a close knit. It could just be a couple people, who knows? Sometimes it says even casual acquaintances can help reduce stress because we are social creatures. Most of us, I just had a client yesterday. She's been at this mid-level of depression since I've been working with her. And a part of it because she had a breakup a year ago, and it really shook her up a little bit. She's in her late 30s. The breakup is she's still struggling. But in the process, she has distanced herself from other people. She does talk to her parents, her dad on the phone. She may talk to a friend, but she don't go out with people. She says things like, I don't like people. Her job, she has to work with people she complains about. And that's because I feel like part of the reason she's stuck in this level of depression is because of her disconnection to others. She doesn't even have a pet, because pets can be therapeutic. You connect with your pets. Cat, dog, like there's a connection there. That's why there's a thing called pet therapy. There are people who bring pets to hospitals and to children's facilities to help because when I worked at a residential treatment facility for kids at Low Heights, I think it was once a week or once every other week, people brought in dogs so that the kids could pet the dogs.
They do that at children's medicine.
They do it at children's medicine, senior citizen homes, senior citizen facilities, because there's research that shows just petting an animal lowers your heart rate and your blood pressure. It's that beneficial. And my client, she doesn't have pets. She's like, I don't want to be bothered. She sounds so bitter. It's not about volunteering, because volunteering is great too. I'm gonna say this, I'm such a believer in learning how things are supposed to be by looking at what goes around us in the universe. What do I mean by that? The universe is about balance. Think about it. There's man, there's woman, there's day, there's night, there's summer, there's winter. It's constantly balanced. Like, I think that's the way, there's right, there's left. Up, down, happy, sad. And so some of us go through life just wanting to take, and we don't give. That's not balance. We want stuff, we want people's attention, we want people's time, we want these material possessions, but are you giving your time, your attention, gifts to other people? Because if you're not, to me, that's not consistent with the universe. We exhale and we inhale. You can't just do one. You can't only just, I'm just going to inhale, I'm just going to take stuff. It doesn't work. But some of us, we get so caught up in making our world about ourselves, we forget to give to other people. But when we give to other people, we benefit as well as they do. Personally, I'm not impressed by how much money a person got. I'm not impressed by Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. And you know what impresses me about people? People who can do things, who take the time to do things for others. That impresses me. That touches me. There's a guy on Instagram, his name is Vic Blends. Anybody know who I'm talking about? Okay, for those who don't know, Vic Blends, he's actually here in Atlanta. Like, I guess sometimes he does this at the Beltline. He's a barber. And he
goes
just,
around to homeless people and basically
no, he just does haircuts. That's why he's Vic Blends. He will literally put his chair down and he'll be like, hey, would you like a free haircut? Beer, whatever, and he will sit them down right there outside, and while he's hooking up their hair and trimming them, he's asking them questions about themselves, like, so what do you do for a living? You have children, right? And he'll learn their story, all in this little short video. And then it's so cool to hear this interaction, and then they usually love the haircut, and they dap it up, they hug afterwards. This is what he does. Let me check this out. He's been doing these free haircuts on the street. Little kids, adults, older people, everything. Because he's been doing that work, he now has started a large barber college at a prison where he got the funding, where they recreated a whole part of this jail. It's probably bigger than this room, with all these different stalls where these prisoners are learning how to do hair. It's amazing that he got the funding to do that. That's far more impressive to me than the guy who runs, I don't know, IBM, or the guy who runs Amazon. Giving back. That when you see stuff like that, you're like, well, there's another guy I follow on Instagram. He literally he pretends like he's in need. Like he'll be on the sidewalk and he won't have any shoes, and he'll be like, I'm sorry, can you spare like a few bucks? I just want to get a sandwich. And a lot of people will ignore it, but then the person who stops to help him, he'll start talking to them, and before you know it, he'll be like, you know what, I'm not really in need. I should never be, but because you stopped to help me, I want to help you now. And then he flips the script. Whatever they need, they're like, well, I can't pay my medicine. He'll be like, I'm covering that. He covered hotel stay. He will literally, here's $1,000 in cash. Like it feels so good to just watch these videos. I'm like, see, that's what's impressive. There are people who are giving. And so many of us, we're conditioned to take, and commercialism, and gotta get materialism, and gotta get. That's not balanced. I just want to share that. A little off the subject, but this is an interesting statement. This is crazy. Not feeling liked, y'all want to feel liked, not feeling liked and supported by family and friends, which helps us cope with stress, can affect your health, your physical health, as much as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's how toxic being disconnected from other people can be. If you really want to cope with stress, go spend some time with some friends. Even if it's just one friend. Go play in the grass with your dog or something. Can affect your health as much as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That is insane. Like, that's in a textbook, but I've seen it in other sources. Like, you can Google that statement. They've researched this.
Yeah, smoking is bad for your lungs.
And smoking is bad for it. Yeah, and apparently so is being alone and not liked.
And throat damage.
Yeah. All right. You may have heard of this before. That person is a type A or type B personality, or type A or type B behavior. You know the difference between type A and type
Cluster
B.
behaviors and roller coaster.
Where the attendance sheets? Who has a sign? James, you passed it over to me. Where's the other one?
Competitiveness.
Pass that over to me. Thank you very much. Type A behavior and type B. Sometimes they refer to this as type. That's a type. He's a type A. He has a type A personality. She's a type B. Now, unfortunately, who else needs to sign? Unfortunately,
Characterized by a patient.
one of these
cooperative.
personalities is not healthy for us. And some of you in this room might be a type A or a type B. You come up in front right here, too. You pass it up front.
Cooperative.
There we go. Thank you.
Non-competitive.
I'm curious to see if we do have any type A's in this room. Type A's are usually pretty successful people. That's the plus. But there's a downside. Being a type A. So let's talk about our good people, the type A behavior, the type A personality. According to your textbook, this is a cluster of behaviors involving hostility, competitiveness, time urgency, and feeling driven. In other words, these are the people who are like, first of all, they're really horrible bosses. These are the people that will jump all over you. What are you doing? You should have completed this by now. You're a slacker. I'll put you on probation. I need this report done by the end of Tuesday. It's just constant jerk. We got things to accomplish as a company, as a corporation. It's just go, 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 go. We have to be number one this year. We have to come out on top. Our revenues need to increase. Hostility is a key component to people who have this type of attitude. It's just driven. Like, whatever it takes to win, whatever it takes to meet goals, whatever it takes to make more and more money. A lot of top CEOs are type A people. They're so driven and so competitive, that's why they're so successful. That's great. However, these type of people and they often tend to be men, but they can be a woman as well. They develop coronary heart disease twice as often as men who are type B. They have more heart attacks. That's really what we're saying. They have more heart attacks because they're too stressed all the time. We're not supposed to stay stressed for long periods of time, but they're stressed every day. An unfortunate statistic, about 650,000 Americans, that's just die from heart disease in a year. Basically, it's one person every minute. So since we've been talking about this, probably about 4 or 5 people, men more than likely, about 4 or 5 people have had a heart attack and died since I pulled up this screen. Isn't that crazy? 4 or 5 people have died since I put this up on the screen. And more than likely, they're probably type A personality. Now, like I said, they're successful. I'm sure Steve Bezos, head of Amazon, I'd be shocked if he's not type A. But I heard working for Amazon is not fun. Anybody work for Amazon in here? One, was it fun? Or you were fun? You know anybody who worked in the factory? Like in the wish fulfillment or whatever they call it? You didn't have talk to anybody? Because I heard those people, like, they monitor when you go to the bathroom.
I know someone that works there, and she's like, there's like no windows, it's all concrete, and all the fluorescent lights, and like, I would die if I could not go outside or see outside.
Here's something interesting about the guy who runs Amazon, Steve Bezos. He has actually said in his corporate meetings with his other high-ranking people, they push people with the goal that they eventually quit.
Nice.
And the reason why that's okay with them, because they feel like, you know, when you first get that new job, you're really excited and you work really hard. They want that fresh energy all the time. So
What a train of thought.
that is literally, that was in a memo or some sort of presentation that got leaked to the public. That they literally, he is excited to when people get pushed out, because that means they're gonna hire new people who are gonna be driven. Because they want to keep their job. They want to make a good impression. That's the word we get. And now they're about to do massive layoffs.
And here we are.
They're and a bunch of other corporations around the country are doing massive firing, and they're not even hiring. Like, I think Amazon, is about to, get rid of 500 positions or something. So, yeah, it's something crazy like that.
Well, that's why you have robots.
And a lot of major corporations are laying off a lot of people. Some because of robots. Amazon is definitely incorporating more robots in their factories, but also to AI in general.
AI right now is mainly for artistic. AI is not at the, it doesn't have the human dexterity at the moment, although it's getting there.
I saw a video just today of this robot. They were showing what it can do. The robot was literally in the house. It was folding clothes. I saw another one that was chopping vegetables and put them in a pot and were cooking. I just saw this video, like late last night.
I saw one too. They recently released like a robot house cleaner, and it can do chores and stuff.
Technology
Voice
is
command.
only going to get better. Like in your lifetime, there are people going to have robots in their homes. They're going to be their companions. They're going to be doing housework. They're going to be cooking. It's going to happen in your lifetime.
I think some people were going to turn out into movie iRobot.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be iRobot. It is coming. It is literally coming. So, this is off subject, but I'm gonna steer you a little bit. So, there's a lot of people who are founders in AI. People, there's one guy, he's considered the grandfather of AI. These people have done interviews on different podcasts, on 60 Minutes, and a lot of them say the same things. The people who help create AI, they're worried about the future. And they're like, there's nothing we can do about it. Cat's already out the bag, like change is gonna come, and it's not. The guy who, a forefather, grandfather in AI, he he saw it was going down a bad path, but there was nothing he could do about it. Because he said if he didn't continue to research, then China was going to. That's what he said. So we had to. Now, there's a video, I even have it on my phone, and he said this in an interview on 60 Minutes. He said, we don't know why, but AI will lie.
AI what?
Will lie. It will be untruthful.
Well, I learned it from us.
It's learning everything from us. And the guy on 60 Minutes, he said, here's a demonstration. He had AI, he said, do a document on, gentlemen, you guys are distracting me, okay? Sorry about that. You guys are distracting me. Thank you, I appreciate it. When it asked, they said, do a research paper on this topic. And AI, it did the whole, like in seconds, it did this full research paper. And the guy said, cite your sources. It asked the AI to cite. And it did. It cited its sources, the books that it got its information from. One of the books it got its information from doesn't exist. The AI made up the book, complete with the cover. It made it all up. There's another story that was on a CBS Morning News show. This guy was telling he's a programmer. He told the AI to, when it finished doing a certain thing, to shut itself down. The AI did not want to do that. So instead, first of all, it backed itself up somewhere else. Then, the programmer that told it to shut itself down when it finished sent an email that the programmer was having an affair. The AI sent an email to his coworkers that he was having an affair. I could show you the video where they were talking about on the news. Like, I was like, that's crazy.
I think I've seen that. I think,
I can tell you, the guy who was talking about it was a guy on CBS this morning, comes out every morning, Tony DeCoppolo, he was talking about story. I'll show you the video later, but we don't know what's coming in the future, but I'm just saying, it's probably gonna be iRobot, like you said. But see, those robots kind of did their own thing too, like, that's the problem. So, now, type B behavior people are usually described as patient, cooperative, not really as competitive, not really aggressive. So I'm just curious, any type A people in the room? You're just very driven? You just gotta succeed at all costs? Okay, be careful, don't get your heart attack when you get older. I'm just saying, but you'll probably be successful. All right.
Subjective well-being.
Two terms, subjective well-being, and then write the characteristics of happy people. Because now we talked about coping and what can help being around people. We're going to talk about taking care of yourselves right now. That's what the focus was now on taking care of yourselves.
People's sense of their happiness.
This is health psychology. So the first term is subjective well-being, and then underneath that, there are 4 characteristics of happy people. Just write down the underlying parts. There is a question on the test. I think it looks like all of the following are characteristics of happy people except. I think that's the type of question it is. Interesting, the characteristics of happy people, all 4 of those are things that we touched on when it comes to healthy strategies.
Themselves. All right. Mystic.
Start with subjective well-being. What the heck does that mean? People's sense of their happiness and satisfaction with their lives. In other words, that'd be like me asking you, which I may ask you, how satisfied are you with your life right now? How happy are you in general? How happy are you? How satisfied are you? Of course, everybody I would think in this room wish their life was a little bit better in at least one way, if not more than one way. I don't think anybody in this room would turn down having a lot more money. I don't think if I offered a $100,000 check to everybody who wanted one, I don't think anybody would say no. Anybody would turn down $100,000? You're funny.
It would be very dangerous for me. And
Wait,
I
I'm
cannot
sorry.
wait.
Wait. You just can't throw that out there.
Oh.
Why is giving you $100,000 be dangerous for you?
It would be extremely dangerous. Because I'm not financially responsible. Duh.
Wait. So, what's worst case scenario of you having $100,000?
She gonna buy something she can't afford later.
What would you?
I'll buy something that would kill me.
That would kill you?
Too much of anything good is bad, is what you said
It
last
can be
week.
bad. Too much of anything can be bad.
All right then. I can't wait until we go back to the day where we traded seeds and stones. That's what I'm waiting
We want to
for.
go back to the beginning.
I'm gonna wait
We're gonna have to wait till we don't have electricity.
until I live in a teepee again.
Okay, a TP, okay. Now, well, that's where self-discipline comes in. If
What is
everybody,
that?
that's where you decide why you use wisdom to decide how to manage the $100,000 I just gave you. So you don't do anything to hurt yourself. Because I'm sure you have loved ones you'd like to do things for. I'm just saying. Okay, real quick. Since subjective well-being, your own sense of happiness and satisfaction with your life. I'm going to put it on a scale. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, 5 to 10 being, okay, you're pretty satisfied with your life. You're on that half. Or you're not content or satisfied with your life. Who is 5 to 10 on the scale from 1 to happiness scale? You're from 5 to 10.
Happy?
Yes.
Wait, no.
Who's 5 and under? Okay, so some people who are not satisfied with their life. There's so many people. Okay. Well, that's what subjective well-being is. A person's own sense of happiness and satisfaction with their lives. I know one way. So ironically, I have an Instagram account, and from time to time I post 3-minute videos. Hopefully they're meaningful to people and they matter. I was recently doing a 3-part video on happiness, actually. And one of the videos I talked about comparison. And so what I mean by that is a lot of times we allow ourselves to get down because we compare ourselves to other people. We compare our lives to other people's lives. And I mentioned earlier in the semester, Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is a thief of joy. But comparison can be beneficial as well. When you compare yourself to people who you think are up here, it makes you feel lower. Perhaps consider doing the reverse. Compare yourself to people who are down here. Because then you get to recognize and acknowledge the positive things in your life. When you compare yourself to this person who's, oh, they got this great relationship, they got all this money, they drive this great car, yeah, you're not gonna feel satisfied. Compare yourself to the person who, I don't know, they've been in the hospital for the last 4 weeks. Compare yourself to the person who don't have any family. Compare yourself to the person who grew up in foster care and now they're aging out of the system and they don't have a family to even be with come Thanksgiving because they're now out of the system. Compare yourself to the person who just hit their head and now they're paralyzed from the neck down. Compare yourself to the person who just lost their child. Life is often about perspective. how you choose to view things in your world and around you. It's always about perspective. There are people right now who would love to be where you are, sitting in a college classroom, but they can't. Either they don't have the money, they don't have a way to get here, they don't have a family that encourages them to go to college. Trust me, there are people all over the world right now that would do anything to change places with you, right now. There are people with diseases that they're gonna keep forever. There are people who your age who are gonna die within the next couple of years. I had a client once, it's really kind of sad. I'm gonna tell you about two clients. No, I'm gonna tell you about a client and a volunteer. I don't think I mentioned this. So I used to do a lot of volunteering experience. I used to do a lot of volunteering. Because when you volunteer, it helps you change your perspective. One of the places I volunteered, did I mention this about a boy who was burned up? I volunteered at a place called Laura Beaters Children's Hospital in Chicago. It is a hospital that treats kids who are terminally ill. They have cancer or some other unfortunate situation. I was there for about a year and a half. One day they said, Frank, we need you to work with this little boy. He's about 9, 10 years old. And we need you to work with him. It's because most of the people who've been interacting with him are females. And he needs to learn to trust men again. Why did he need to learn to trust men again? Because his father set him on fire after pouring gasoline on him.
Damn.
And burned over 80% of his body. So he was completely bandaged up. I could see his eyes, that's it. His own father did that. And so everybody that was usually treating him, his nurses, his doctors, a lot of them were women. They were like, he needs to learn he can trust a male again. And like you could just roll the ball back and forth to him because he needs to stretch his skin. Because I don't know if you noticed or not, but when people who are severely burned, their skin constantly have to get treated. They have to put the bandages on, the bandages have to have treatment, and sometimes they have to have a lot of surgeries, and their skin is constantly in pain, and so they have to move and stretch the skin. So like you just rolling the ball back and forth with them would be beneficial. So right now, there are people in burn units who would gladly switch places with whatever you think you're dealing with. A child. I had enough. This was a client when I was in Kennesaw. I had a client, 8-year-old girl, leukemia. She had that's blood cancer. And she would ask me, like, why does this happen to me? What am I supposed to tell her? I have no reason. I can't say why this is happening to you. She couldn't go to school anymore. She couldn't go outside and play. And as she's my client, I'm with her. I'm her therapist, and she's losing her hair. 8-year-old girl losing her hair, and then she got to start wearing wraps because she's too embarrassed because her hair is just falling out. I'm not trying to depress you. I'm trying to help you understand different perspectives and how that can shift how you view your life, your subjective well-being. Stop comparing yourself to people up here or people you think are up here, because some of this is an illusion anyway. Think about the people who are down here who would switch places with you. So, characteristics of happy people. They tend to have high self-esteem. They believe in themselves. They have a strong sense of control over their environment and themselves. Situations come along, I can do it. They think optimistically. They think, whatever this is, I can do it. Or I can get through this. Whatever this challenge is, I will grow through this challenge. Not just go through it, I will grow through this challenge and be a better person on the other side. And finally, happy people, they like being around other people. And just said, I had a client who, last week she was like, I don't like people. Okay, well, that's why you're not happy. She literally said, I don't like people get on my nerves. I'm like, okay. People get on my nerves too. I'm sure everybody in this room, people get on your nerves, but there should be some people you enjoy being around. All right, 4 tips. We're still talking about coping with stress. 4 tips for managing emotions. You need to accept rather than criticize your own feelings and your own emotions. In other words, that means sometimes We're our worst critic. We're so hard on ourselves. I suck. I'm always mad. I'm always sad. Just accept you're a human being. We have feelings for a reason. We're supposed to be able to feel sad and feel angry. That's just stop being so hard on yourself. Another way to manage your emotions, develop an emotional roadmap. Basically have ways of dealing with your emotions. Okay, when I feel like this, I do this. Create a supportive environment, whether that's having a close group of friends or, you know what, my pets, my dogs are my supportive environment, whatever. And remember that emotions are temporary for most of us. Some of us struggle, and it feels like it's permanent, but usually, whatever you're feeling right now, you probably won't feel it always. All right, now, let's get into some hardcore things you can do to really demonstrate. Aerobic exercise. That means doing something enough where you get your heart and your lungs pumping. That's what makes it aerobic. You're doing whatever you're doing just enough so your heart rate is increased and your lungs are working hard enough.
Involves sustained activity.
The benefit of doing aerobic exercise, it can help you get more energy, it helps you feel more confident about yourself, it can put you in a better mood, and it can actually help your relationships. Because you're in a better mood, so therefore when you interact with people who are close to you, you feel better. Aerobic exercise reduces depression and anxiety. There's a chemical release and endorphins. There are things that are happening in your brain because you are exercising. One of the natural ways to treat anxiety or depression is simply aerobic exercise. It increases stress management. People who work out regularly, when stress does come their way, they're able to handle it better because they've been working out. It's like preparing yourself. Like a football player works out, he trains, lifts weights, so that when the game comes, he can deal with whatever happens in the game. When you prepare yourself through aerobic exercise, when stressful situations come along, you're better able to manage it. And aerobic exercise, not only does it improve the quality of your life, but it improves the quantity of your life. In other words, people who work out regularly, they live longer. They have a healthier life and they live longer. Anybody here work out on a regular basis? Okay, y'all heard me. I'm just gonna move on. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that some of you. And when I say work out, it don't have to be anything major, y'all. It can just be going for a walk. It don't have to be. Do something you enjoy. If you like dance, go take a dance class. If you like martial arts, go take a martial arts class.
Gardening is extremely physical.
Gardening, just move. How about that? Just move. Just move. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Because you guys are way too young to not be moving. There's a saying that goes, you lose it or you use it or you lose it.
Use it or you lose it.
And so I'm just, okay. Also, so it improves, and your exercise improves well-being. Exercise, you get relief from headaches, high blood pressure, your wounds will heal better, and type A people can deal, like it's just so many benefits to it. Okay.
Meditation.
How many of you in here meditate? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
I've tried to learn to meditate, but it wasn't that good though.
Okay, see.
I don't,
Different for
like, I don't know, I
everybody.
can't meditate, like, I don't know how to.
It's
put
different
myself-
for everybody, remember that.
That's it. See, so let me just, okay, let me talk about meditation. Okay, first of all, in our minds, we have an idea. Everybody in this room has an idea of what it means to meditate. Maybe you picture somebody sitting with your legs. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just believe that like it's like where you kind of just like you relax and just kind of like down to your thoughts.
See, yes, it is that, and so much more. Meditation is not one thing. It's not. It's different forms of meditation. So meditation could be what you just said, where you just sit and relax and don't really focus on it. Yes, that can be a form of meditation, absolutely. But you can also just sit and go, or you can just sit and look at the clouds. Or you can just think about the things you want to happen in the day. Like, there's no hardcore thing. There are, like, I should have a list. There's a list, literally, of probably, if you Google the types of meditation, it's probably about, I don't know, 30, 40 different ways to meditate. There's something called guided meditation, where you can go right now on YouTube, go to guided meditation. Let's say you're having trouble sleeping. Guided meditations for sleeping. Guided meditations are where a voice or someone else guides you with what you're thinking about. Guided meditation would start like, okay, I'm looking up guided meditation to help me sleep. It would say something like, okay, so that once you get in a comfortable position, okay, you're feeling yourself becoming calm. You are now letting go of all the stresses you experienced earlier in the day. Starting from the bottom of your feet are becoming more at ease and relaxed. You can feel a sense of warmness moving up your legs as the rest of your muscles in your legs become more and more at ease. And just that's guided meditation. That's helping you now. You can feel your whole body becoming. You're feeling weary. Your eyes are getting sleep. That's guided meditation.
They're like a form of hypnosis, though.
It's just somebody talking. And even if it helps you, but it's not really. I mean, you can stop it any time. But that's guided meditation. There are people who do mantra meditations where they just tell themselves the same thing over and over. They may. For the whole thing, and you don't even have to do it for a long time. Some people think you got to meditate for an hour. No, you can meditate for 3 minutes if you want. I'm gonna meditate for 3 minutes. All I'm gonna tell myself is, today I'm just gonna think of mantra. Great things are headed my way today. Great things are headed toward my way today. My mind and body are at peace. My mind and body are at peace. You could literally, it could be whatever you want. My meditation has multiple aspects. There's a part of my meditation where I'm focusing on what I'm grateful for. There's a part of my meditation where I'm sending out positive energy to those in my life and those around me. There's a part of my meditation where I'm envisioning the things that I want to happen on this day. There's a part of my meditation I'm thinking about what I want for my future. Those are different stages of my meditation. There's a part of my meditation where I just think about being present. Over here it says mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being aware of the present moment. And how do you do that? You simply ask yourself, what are your 5 senses observing in the moment? When you see, when you feel, when you hear, when you smell, when you taste. When you're focusing on those things, you are in the present moment. You are demonstrating mindfulness.
Where your feet are.
Where your feet are, all of that. There's so many different ways to meditate. You can create your own way, you can do research, you can Google, but there are incredible benefits to meditation. It is used to reduce suffering, improve awareness, insight, compassion, in a variety of religions around the world. There's technology, like something called Headspace, and Calm, like I think I used to have Calm on my phone. You go to their website, you go to their app, and it may be just pictures of, it may be video of the ocean, the tide rolling into the ocean. That can be meditation. Just looking at your phone, oh look, it's raining, it's a rainforest, and just staring at that. That could be considered meditation. In one study, 1,140 people, some received mindful-based therapy for several weeks, others did not. The level of anxiety and depression were lower amongst those who received the mindful meditation. It is good for the body, the mind. It's linked, meditation is linked to improve sleep and improve immune system and just overall being helpful for us. So there are lots of benefits to meditation. So we talked about aerobic exercise, we talked about meditation. I talked about interacting with pets, connecting with other people, having a social support group. These are all different ways that you can manage stress and therefore anxiety and depression. And now we get to our in-class activity. You will need a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
something to write with. I need you to simply answer one of the following questions. You can answer either what activities do you engage in or use to help you deal with stress? Now, maybe you don't do anything to help you deal with stress. You need to answer question number 2. You only need to answer one. What activities would you like to try or learn more about that may help you better deal with stress? Either what do you do to help you deal with stress, or what activities would you like to try or to learn more about? Maybe you're like, hey, I want to take up salsa dancing. I think that'll help me with reducing my stress. That's fine. I want to learn how to play chess. I think that'll help me with reducing my stress. You don't have to give me a long thesis or report. A couple of sentences, fine with you. As long as I get a sheet of paper with your name on it, you get credit for today's engagement activity. And as a reminder, the engagement activities are worth 20% of your grade. What activities do you engage in to help you deal with stress? Maybe you don't do nothing. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you, I don't know, climb trees. I don't know what you do.
Prayers to myself.
I like mixing records. I used to do a little DJ on the side, so I like matching beats and songs. I love that.
0%.
But I also do martial art, Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well.
Also going out for a walk.
I actually read Marvel comics too. That's another activity I do.
Done. Okay, Mr. Jones, I wrote down the first question.
Okay, so you went the first one. Okay, great. You got your name on it?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. All right. So, I know some of you are still writing. I just want to hear from a few of you what you put down. Jordan, what you put down?
Play video games to reduce stress.
You play video games?
Yes.
Okay. Are you doing sports games, action games,
Or action
mind
games.
games,
Or more action games.
first person shooting?
Yes, of course.
That's no good.
Hey, I'm for some reason I figured you were saying, what are you talking about? Call of Duty? What are you talking about?
Mario Kart, Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
No, they should have done better in the past to make better movies and games and comics and TV shows in the past to make them more
All right,
stronger
what
and
is
best.
something else? Who else? What do you do to deal with stress?
Red 64
Yeah.
anyone?
You said it's a place you go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
And me and my friends do go there. But they're only like open on weekends, so
What type of place is this?
it's a line
It's a lighting?
dancing.
Oh, you go line dancing.
Like a goofy way?
So, okay, so there's country line dancing, and then I'll call the R&B line dancing. Which one is it? Okay.
But like I know
No judgment.
I know like country ones, like if they play like all the songs, like it could be like a country song to like some Jason Derulo or something. So it just like changes.
That's kind of cool.
But it's just cause like
Right.
you learn the dances afterwards and stuff.
And then you go there.
So
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, line dancing is when there is a group of choreographed moves that match with certain songs. Like whenever this song comes on, they know this is the dance they gotta move. And you do it. The whole room is doing the same thing together. You have it in country dancing, you have it in R&B music, and so yeah, when I was on my trip, I saw a lot of line dancing. You do the fan dance?
Well, it plays sometimes, but I don't like it.
You know the song I'm talking about, right? Where them fans at?
Yeah, I don't really do it.
Okay, I'm just asking. Okay, one person, what else you do? What do you do? You like to play chess as what else? Go for walks. Yes, you know what? The going for a walk thing is huge. I don't know if you guys realize this, but there's something about being in nature that has a calming effect on most people. That's why sometimes you can go for a walk and you can feel better.
Because it's our natural habitat.
Huh?
Because it's our natural habitat.
Because it's our natural, it is our, which is so sharp. It is our natural habitat. Yes, exactly. That's why when people go to the beach, put a towel down or a chair, they end up falling asleep. It's so peaceful. I think people want to go golfing. I know it's a sport, but think about it. It's a sport you only do when the weather's great. You do it on a perfectly manicured lawn. And most of the time, you're not hitting the ball. Like most of the time, you're getting to the next hole. But I think it's being out in nature that plays a big role. There are people who go fishing every weekend who know they're not going to catch everything. They're not going to catch something all the time. But it's so peaceful. Think about it. You're on a lake. You have to be quiet because you don't want to scare the fish. Something about nature going. I don't know if anybody ever went hiking or camping. Anybody gone camping? Has anybody been to a cabin? See? Now you can't. I know you guys enjoy doing those things. Am I right? None of them you bit or chased by a wild animal. You probably enjoy it.
Well, isn't it a chemical reaction in your brain when you touch the earth?
There's something called grounding. Yes. Yes. There's so many benefits to being in nature. I mean, if you're religious, I've heard people who are religious or spiritual say that when you immerse yourself in nature, you're closer to God. I've heard people say that too. So there's many things. Okay, who wants to share something they would like to learn more and get into?
All right, okay.
Anybody? Something you want to get into? So I guess everybody just put what they wanted to. What they do. Okay. All right. Well, just make sure everybody you have your name on that sheet and just leave it on the desk. I'm not done yet. I'm still. Okay. So here's just a couple of kind of points, and then I'm gonna make the announcements that I didn't make at the beginning. Most people report being at least moderately happy most of the time. Believe it or not, life-altering events such as winning the lottery really don't make people much happier than they already are. So say, for example, you think, wow, I just won $1 million. Yes, your level of happiness will be here. But the research says that over time, your level of happiness is going to go back down to whatever range that it normally is. Yes, Diego.
Also, winning the lottery makes you a target to random strangers and to your family, and there's just a bunch of paperwork involved.
In the words of Notorious B.I.G., more money, more problems.
Yes.
That's what. So people think, I mean, if I won a lot, I don't know what the rule is. There's some states, if you win a large amount of money, you have to show up and be allowed to put on I don't know if Georgia's one of those states, but I promise you, if I won multi-million dollars, and I have to show up and they have to photograph my face, I'm wearing a disguise. I'm just telling you right now. There is no way. If I won $7 million, I'm gonna have a wig on,
Glasses, mustache.
glasses. I'm a painter. I'm gonna have a beard. I'm a pipe. You are.
A pie or
Dress up like Big Bird. Be Big Bird.
Whatever it takes. I don't want, do I want people coming to me like that? No.
Or you could just introduce them to Rodney.
You
You could introduce them to Rodney and just tell people you don't want to meet
taxes
Rodney.
on that money. Yes, you win $7 million. You're basically really only getting half of that. So, but you still got, if you won 7, you still got, 3.5 million. You still got money. So basically, we all have a range where we typically reside when it comes to our level of happiness. We're right around this. So even if you win the lottery, eventually you come back to your normal range. So, because they call it having a set point to happiness, no matter what goes on in the world. And there we go. Okay. Now, a couple of quick announcements that I saved till now. First of all, I have not graded your midterm assignments. That'll be done later on this week. But exam 3 has been completed. Your scores in Blackboard. If you want to see it, I have the scan product with me here. If you need to break up an exam, please remember, you need to either get with me or let me know when you want to take it. Typically, you can take it after class. That's on you. Like I said, the bulk of your grade is the quizzes. But I tell you right now, even when I put in the scores for this test, I said, taking these tests are the difference between, it can be different between this grade and this grade, and this grade and this grade. Just from this test alone, there were some of you who are at a C, you're now at a B. Some of you are at a B, and now you're at an A. Simply because, even if you didn't do that great on the test, even if you only got like a C on the test, it still was enough to move into a higher level. So that's why it's important to really be present and participate in quizzes. What else do you need to know? Speaking of quizzes, I hope you're getting them done. Chapter 11 and Chapter 12, Health Psychology, and Chapter 12, Psychological Disorders, are due on November 10th.
Yes, sir.
And then also, Tuesday, we start a big chapter. I might have to print out all the terms because I'm missing a day. Normally this class, this chapter takes at least 3 days to cover. It's Chapter 12, Psychological Disorders. There are a lot of psychological disorders. There's groups. There's like disorders under the heading of depression, disorders under anxiety, there's personality disorders, there's all these different headings of disorders. And I don't know if 2 days is enough, but I may just print and give you guys a handout so you won't have to worry about writing it down, because I'm gonna have to go kind of quickly through this. And it's like I'm gonna say this again on Tuesday, when we talk about psychological disorders, I mentioned this day 1. If somebody happens to share that they have one of these conditions, it can be something as mild as ADHD or something as severe as a personality disorder, I want you guys to keep it in this room. If somebody felt comfortable enough to share that, they felt safe enough to disclose that, then we should be able to honor that by keeping it in this room and not taking it outside and telling people that person's got that condition, that person's mother is an alcoholic. No, okay? And also, I'll be showing you whatever condition, a lot of the conditions I'll be talking about, I'm gonna show you pictures of people who you know, who may be celebrities or noteworthy people who have these conditions, whether it's anxiety, depression, because I need you guys to understand, just because a person has a condition, that doesn't mean you can't have a fulfilling life. Every condition you can think of, there's somebody who's extremely successful. For example, Elon Musk. He's on the autism spectrum. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Did you guys know that? You guys know Elon Musk, creator of Tesla and SpaceX, multi-billionaire. Yeah, he's on autism spectrum. He self-disclosed. He was on an episode of Saturday Night Live. During the monologue, he self-disclosed. So, just because you have a condition, doesn't mean you won't accomplish things. And if that's, does anybody have any questions about anything? All right, well, enjoy the rest of Wait, did everybody sign the attendance sheet?
Yes, sir.
If not, the attendance sheets are up here. Otherwise, have a great and safe weekend. Hope to see you all on Tuesday where we start psychological disorders. A very fascinating chapter, if I do say so myself.